New towels. New cotton gloves. New tidy box. New screwdrivers. This can mean only one thing. New partwork. Oh, it's massive. Hey everyone, it's Foxx from modelmaking.guru here. Hello, and welcome to a brand new partwork. Yes, it is the Fanhome Fast and Furious Dodge Charger RT, Dominic Toretto's car, legendary car from the Fast and Furious movies. He said that like he knew what he was talking about. We'll talk about that in a minute. Very quick transparency, we're going to be working through all 110 issues of this. Although I do need to let you know that the guys at Fanhome did contact me and ask me if I'd be interested in doing this partwork. So they are supplying me with this partwork, and I'm going to be filming the build-up as we go along over the next, I assume, 2 years, 110 issues. So massive big thank you to the guys at Fanhome for contacting me. If you don't know who Fanhome are, here's a little video. So there you go. Now, this is, of course, issue 1 of this build, and we'll take a look at the magazine in a second. But because it's the first issue, you get some extra blurb in the package. First of all, you get blurb about the actual partwork, like an overview. Oh, moist. Moist. I mean, I love muscle. I know nothing about cars, and I have to admit right now, I've not actually watched any of the movies. I know, I'm getting constant abuse from Cy Reynolds that I've not actually watched any of the movies, but I'm building the... I know. Here's the thing. I will commit to this live on Telebox now. I will commit to, at some point during the course of this partwork, I will watch at least one of the Fast and Furious. I will watch maybe the first one. I'll probably watch the first one, obviously, because it's the first one. I might enjoy it, and I might end up watching more. I don't know. See, I didn't really think I was going to enjoy the MCU movies, but I kind of found them really fun and I enjoyed them greatly, so I might enjoy them. But I will commit. I will watch at least one of them, the first one. I know, it's heresy. I know. I don't know. So, yeah, and I know nothing about cars, but I do love me some muscle cars. And Dodge Charger is not normally my favourite, but because it's the one I'm building, it's my absolute favourite. There you go, it's my favourite child. I have a bit of a thing for the Plymouth Hemi Cuda. That's my absolute favourite. So we have this little magazine explaining what you're going to be getting. Now, look at this. It's 1/8 scale. Yeah, it's not going to be small. It's going to be that long. I can barely fit it on screen. Now, if you remember recently, I actually redid my workbench to make extra space, and I'm glad of that because I'm going to need it for this. I did it for the X-Wing, but I'm going to need it for this as well. So it's going to be 65 centimetres, almost 66 centimetres long. It's going to weigh 8.5 kilograms. That is exactly the same weight as a child that weighs 8.5 kilograms. It's going to be very heavy, so there may be a bit of wheezing and straining by the time this thing gets towards completion. Yeah. And it says here, it does have illuminating headlights and side lights, opening doors, hood, and we'll call it hood. It's an American car. Opening doors, hood, and trunk. I do actually prefer hood and trunk to bonnet and boot. I don't know why. I'm British, but I don't know. Functioning steering, the wheel turns the wheels, and it's easy to assemble. Now this, of course, this is subjective because this is me we're talking about. I was born with ineptness. I was born with catastrophic uselessness at building things. So we'll see how it goes. Fully detailed engine bay and engine. Look at that face. Oh, just gives you a stiffy just looking at it. Oh. And then it talks about the publication itself and all the magazines. And of course, being a partwork, you get freebies. You get little gifts. You get a power pack as the first one. Now, you get these across the course of the partwork, but you get the power bank as the first one, like a thing for charging your iPads and your phones and stuff. You get a Fast and Furious backpack. Can it be handy? My backpack's a bit knackered now. You get a mug, which you can fill with the coffee, which I have here. And according to the colour balance, it's probably the colour of sewer water again. Sorry, I don't know. I always get my colour balance right, apart from coffee, which comes out like sewer water. I don't know why. And then you get fourth gift is a pack of exclusive posters that you can adorn your man cave walls with. Lovely muscle cars. Although one of them appears to be a modern muscle car. I've got to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of like modern muscle cars or modern muscle cars. You know, like the new Chargers and things like that, new Mustangs. I like the old ones. I like the 60s, 70s ones. They've got the panache, the curves and the shape. I mean, the modern ones are nice, but I much prefer the old ones. Anyway, so you get some free stuff. Now, there is, of course, being a partwork, a premium offer as well. For an extra £1 a month after issue 7, you can get an enormous, and this will be enormous, an enormous acrylic case to display this in. Now, this is going to be massive. It's going to take up a lot of space on your shelf, and it's shiny black. It's proper metal bodywork with proper paint on it. It's going to be a dust magnet, so if you can afford the extra £1 a month, take it, because you'll want that case when it comes to not having to dust this every week. Now, you'll see throughout the course of this, I'll be using gloves and I'll be using soft fluffy towels to protect the paintwork. Once it's finished, when you are displaying it, do keep that in mind. You want to keep the paintwork pristine. Now, we also have more blurb. This came with it, and this is just another leaflet explaining about the premium gift. It's supposed to be. I've got little markers there, you see, where I put the magazine, so I know it's all lined up. It's very good. I'm very professional. Very profesh. And also, we get a little leaflet explaining about Fanhome, which I've opened about 10 times now, doing about 10 takes of this bit, and I still get it wrong every time. There we go. It's a little fold-out that just explains exactly what Fanhome is. So if you haven't gone and checked out, go and check it out after this video. It is worth it. They're still relatively new, but they've got a lot of stuff on there. But I can only imagine what the future will hold, because there's a lot of licensed stuff that D'Agostini do and will be doing in the future, so do keep an eye on it. I can't imagine they won't be doing, for example, more Star Wars stuff. Hey, if you're listening, Fanhome, please do a big partwork of a Y-Wing. I would give you all my spleens for a Y-Wing. I really would. Or even a 1/6 scale tactical droid. I'd just give you all my internal organs for that. Imagine like a 3-foot tall tactical droid. Oh! So on to the magazine itself, and it's going to be the usual format that you've seen in many other partworks. Bit of fluff, bit of lore and backstory, because it's a pop culture franchise, and then we'll have the buildy part, and then some other information. It's going to be talking a lot about things like hot rod culture and tuning culture and all that kind of stuff. And like I said, I haven't watched the films, I know nothing about cars. I know, but we'll sort that out. But I'll go through it the best I can. So it starts off talking about the actual franchise itself, explaining what the car is and the franchise, the Fast and Furious franchise, which has now been going for about 145 years, over about 728 films. It's kind of chewed up every Hollywood actor that exists. They've all been in it. It's like the Bill for British actors. This is like the American version of the Bill. You know how the Bill had like every actor ever was in the Bill? This is their equivalent. They've got 128 films in the series. It's amazing, apparently. I will watch all of them in one go. So, yes, I don't know what I'm talking. I'm having a really weird day today. I'm just talking rubbish. So we've got some background fluff about the franchise. Then we get into the buildy, and in this step, we're going to be building the Supercharger and reinforcing the bonnet. You can see here, it's a little different from what we've seen with the X-Wing. It's not a picture and a hand and blurb. It's proper exploded technical diagram, so it's a bit clearer, a bit easier to follow. We'll see how simple it is again for my inept skills, but we'll go there. So a few steps to it. Might take a little while today. Might be a longer video than normal. And then after that, we've got some information and background on the origins of tuning, where tuning came from, a kind of post-war culture, using old Model Ts, and a little bit about modern cars and modern tuning. Can't say modern tuning really interests me that much compared to old cars, muscle cars. In my job doing detailing, we did do some work with hot rods and things like that, and it was like, oh, old, we've worked on some Model Ts and things like that, and some American cars. Oh, very nice. So I do know a little tiny bit about it. But yeah, I am the least likely person to be building this, let's be honest. But I do love muscle cars. So anyway, I'll shut the hell up. We'll go and get everything ready, and we'll crack on. Okay, so let's get cracking. Now I've got everything set up a specific way purely for this build. This is gonna physically hurt me to say this. It's gonna be physically painful. I can't form the words. I'm gonna be doing this as a clean build. Clean. I'm the king of weathering. I've got to do a clean. I don't have to do a clean build, but in all seriousness, I'm going to keep this as a clean build. It's a big shiny car that weighs the same as an 8.5 kilogram child. I'm going to keep it nice and clean. So I've got some precautions in place. I hate saying that word. I can't believe I said that. You'll never see me do another. Actually, no, you might do. Yeah. Okay, let's move on from that. Yes, we're going to be doing a clean build. So I've got some soft, floofy towels down to protect the paintwork. These are Dodo Juice Fantastic Fur towels. Thanks very much to the guys at Dodo Juice. Hi, Dom. Also, I've got myself some cotton gloves. Now, the towels are to prevent the painted parts, the metal sort of bodywork and stuff, being scratched to hell on the workbench. And all it takes is one little bit of dust or crap on the desk from something else to get in under the metal piece and scratch the paint, and the whole thing looks terrible. If you get just one scratch on this, it's going to look like garbage because it's black and it's shiny. It's going to show up every little imperfection. So I'm going to keep these as clean as possible. The towels are to keep the paintwork pristine. The gloves are to keep my hand jam off the metal parts and the shiny chromy parts, which are metal and plastic. Other things I've got in place, I have over there an iPad with a timer on it because my phone's decided that anything more than, say, 15 minutes and it throws a wobbly and I lose the footage. So you may notice a few jump cuts after 10 or 15 minutes. It's because I have to. I have my new screwdriver that I bought. You do get a screwdriver with this, but I'm sure it's fine. But yeah, that's going to kill my hand after about 2 minutes. So we'll put that over there. I've got myself a decent screwdriver. I've got a couple of pairs of tweezers just for gripping things, a pair of reverse tweezers and some more ones just in case I have anything tiny that I need to manhandle. I also have my little screw holder, which is just a jewellery organiser, and I've already got the screws out. I'm going to keep them arranged in different piles, and if I remember rightly, there are P screws and M screws. P screws are screws that go into plastic, and M screws are ones that go into metal. And the reason I mention that is because I've got something here that I've never used before on a build, and that is a little pot of 3-in-1 oil. Just any old 3-in-1 oil will do. Normal lubricating oil. And I've not smelled that since taking apart a Flying Scotsman Hornby train when I was a kid. I've not smelled that smell. This is purely for screws that are going to go into metal. I've done some research and I found that when you're putting metal screws into metal, there is a risk that you'll shear the screw, or it'll just get mashed up inside the metal piece if it's not seated correctly. And I don't want to do that because as far as I can tell, you get just enough screws in these. You don't get any extras. So I don't want to risk damaging anything. So plastic screws are fine, but for metal screws, we'll be just touching them with a tiny amount of oil just to keep them lubricated and give myself an easier time screwing everything together. So that is everything ready. The first step we're going to do is teb on it. So all we need to do for this step is take the metal bonnet piece and the plastic reinforcing frame and apply it at 9 AM screws. So gloves on, because we're going to be doing some painty panel work. I feel like I should be either doing magic tricks or opening a 13th century vellum Bible or something, or some ancient document with all the crinkly noises in the world should be included. So I'm going to move these tweezers out of the way. I'm going to need my screws. I'm going to need 9 AM screws. Now, one of the advantages of this sort of fluffy mat is I can, if I want to, put screws down here and they're not going to roll away. So I'm going to need 9 of the AM screws. I've got my oil here, which I'm going to be careful with. I don't want to get it on the towel because that will be bad. Got to keep that there, safe. In fact, what I will do, let me rearrange my desk. 1 second. Okay, that desk rearrangement didn't involve anything at all. I decided not to bother. I was like, I'll leave things as they are. Never mind. Right, so we need to get the reinforcing frame. which is thus there. You see, it looks fantastic, that. And we also need a tab bonnet. Look at that. Sorry, the hood, I should say. That's beautiful. Now, there are some schmutz on there, some little marks. So what I'm going to do is just very gently, you can't see what I'm doing, I'm just going to gently rub it on the towel over here. It's a soft microfiber towel. It's actually, see what I'm going to do. Let me put that there. It's actually a detailing towel. It's for detailing actual cars. That's what these towels are. That's why I got them. Because Dojus actually make stuff for detailing cars. And when this project is finished in a couple of years, I will be fully waxing this car properly like a real car. Because I used to do detailing, so there we go. It's a little bit better. It will get a proper clean up and wax at the end. So what we need to do is put that this way. And this bit goes on top like that. See this? Locks into place. There's little raised bits for all the screw holes. Now these are going to be screws they're going through plastic, but they're into metal. So we're going to need the AM screws, which means a little bit of oil on each one. So I'm going to put on my little visor of seeing so I can see, because that's always important. All I'm going to do, take my oil, take a tiniest amount of oil on the tip of the screw, just the tiniest dot, and I'm just going to insert the screws one by one. And that oil just means that it's a little bit easier for me to work this. I can't do this with gloves on. I can't grip my screwdriver. Let me take this glove off. There we go. Right, so now I can grip the screwdriver. Go around one by one. And because I've put the oil on there, it just gives me a little bit of an easier time getting these screws driving home. I'm going to go around. Get these done. It really is the tiniest touch of oil on these screws, like literally just a molecule. Be very careful. I'll do it over here actually, but be very careful. Right, now I'm not actually used to doing that, so I might be a bit ginger and delicate with it, more than needed. So I'll go around. And I'll get all these screws put in. I shall activate the fast forwarding button to avoid viewer fatigues. Okay, and that's there done. So you can see now that's all the screws in there. Lovely jubbly. Nice. This is already heavy, and this is just the first two bits stuck together. Gorgeous. So what I'm going to do now, that goes to one side. So I'm going to put the lid back on my screwage. I'm going to carefully put that over there, face down. Now I think I may have made a slight goof. I put too much oil in my little oil pot. So I may have to go and empty some of this out, because I'm actually taking me a long time to dip them in because I'm dipping them too deep. So I think I need to replace the oil pot in a minute. So we'll do that shortly. What's next? The next step is attach the throttle body to the front of the air scoop 1D. So the throttle body in the front of the air scoop. There's the throttle body. This is shiny. I'm going to need a glove for this, aren't I? Yeah. Problem is I can't actually. I need some little fingers or something, because I can't actually grip the screwdriver very easily with these gloves on. Got a hole. Look at that. These are brand new gloves and they've got a hole already. Cheap. Knock off eBay rubbish. Amazon rubbish. So this goes here. I don't know if that's supposed to be cracked. I might have got a slight breakage there, but that's we'll not worry about that for now. Okay, apologies for the jump cut there, and I had to reset. So yes, we're going to apply these two parts together. Now, you notice I've taken my gloves off. I was doing a little bit, and they did make it incredibly hard to actually grip anything on the screwdriver. So I think I may have to bite the bullet and just dust off stuff afterwards. You get rid of fingerprints. Just try to keep fingerprints to a minimum. Keep your hands clean when you're doing this. So this slots in there, and there's two little forks that go over the two little holes. And we're going to use two BP screws. Now these are screws going into plastic, so I don't need to have any oil on them. I've just swapped my screw head out for one that's slightly smaller, because these seem a little funny screws, you've got little funny crossheads on them that are a bit fiddly. I'm going to very gently, not screw it in all the way, just very loosely put it in because I need to balance this out. When you're screwing into plastic, you have to be gentle, you have to be careful. You can't go in full bore and get all the screws in full whack in one go. You need to go gently. So I've done them loosely, make sure everything's in place. It's looking all lined up. Yep. And then I can tighten both screws, balance out the stress on the plastic. If I do one screw straight away, then I risk stressing that plastic unduly and it can bend and snap. I slowly increase the tightness. I don't need to go super tight, I don't want to break anything. Just gently get it in place. So there we go. Sorted. Now there is a crack in my plastic piece there, but you can't actually tell. You can't see it once it's in. That's fine, not a problem. That might just be a shipping. It's been cracked in shipping, but no big problem. We have got some hand jam on there, but not anymore. Yes, I think once this is, I think I'll not worry too much. I will handle the painted parts carefully where I have to, but I will use the gloves. But they do make it hard to screw anything, and yeah, so we may just have to be careful. But when this is finished, I will completely clean it, get a proper waxing, proper actual. I've got a pot of wax. It's about 9 years old now, but it's a proper pot of dodo juice wax. So that's that bit done. Next we have the butterfly flaps onto the pins on the spindle. Let me get those bits. Okay, so for this bit, we need to get these little butterflies onto the spindle. Now, you want them to face the same way. So it does show on the magazine here that we have... Where's this go now? Okay, so I think it needs to be this way around with the long... on camera, the long spike sticking forward, and then the arrows all need to point the same way, i.e. downward. So see the arrow on the plastic piece there, do on camera. So this is going to go into there. Link, a nice tight fit, it's not going to go anywhere. No need for glue. That's going to go on there. Find the holes. Yeah. To quote Ryan Davies, arrow pointing down. That's that one. The arrow is on the inside part because it's a shonky finish. The nice smooth finish is on the outside, you see. And arrow pointing down. Yeah. Just putting the pins into the holes. You can. That's a nice tight fit. They're not going to come off ever, hopefully. There you go, that is, I hope I've got that the right way around. That is the butterflies done. Position the butterfly spindle in the side slots of the air scoop. Side slots of the air scoop, so it's going to go, that's the nice bit. Before that goes in, I'll get one of my cotton gloves, they will have a use after all. One of my cotton gloves, and I'll just quickly give them a quick ziz. Hand jam, you say? And jam, da 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 da. That might be easier, wouldn't it? Give them a quick gentle rub, get rid of any finger schmutz. I won't get rid of any finger schmutz. I'm just thinking it's easier to do this now, while I can get to them, than when they're actually in situ, possible to get to. So there we go. So that's going to sit this way, because that bit needs to face out. Like that, you see? Oops. Like that, you see? Arrows pointing to the inside of the housing. There we go. Oh, no, that way. No, actually... Yes, that way. Arrows pointing down, or rather towards the top. Gonna go there. Next step. We're going to need 4 AP screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the one advantage of having a little towel. The screws aren't going to go anywhere. Place the bottom of the air scoop 1M over the EFI adapter plate. So the EFI adapter plate is there. We have it that way around. Flat shiny part Is that right? Yes, flat shiny part like this, because that's the underneath, so that's going to go there. This piece sits on that end, and we have these 2 screw holes and those 2 screw holes need to align, so that's going to sit on there. And there's no, is there a peg and hole? Yes, there is a hole. There we go. There's some pegs that lock those into place. And we just need the 4 AP screws. Again, AP screws being plastic, no oil required. But shaky hands are not ideal. So we're just going to make sure they seat in. Again, do them gently and loosely. Not putting them in heavy like. I'm not blapping the screws in there full bore. I don't want to stress these delicate, they're not delicate plastic parts, but I don't want to stress the plastic unnecessarily. Tell you what though, I've got shakes today, but I'll tell you what, I wish I'd known about the oil trick when I was doing the metal frame parts on the X-Wing. Some of those screws were alright pig to get in, but it's probably because I was trying to get a metal screw into a metal piece and not doing it right. Now we've got those in, we can tighten them up a little bit, just uniformly. Wow, I don't know why I've got the shakes today. I've not drunk that much coffee. I think I'm just getting old. Maybe it's old people shakes, I don't know. I hope not. Also, my face is a long way away from the screws, let's be perfectly honest. Okay, so I don't need to go too tight with these, just finger tight is fine. Finger tight, that's me. There we go, just make sure they're uniform all across the 4 screws. Lovely. That bit. Now, turn the assembly over and place it above the air scoop in 10. There we go, so there's the air scoop. That goes like that. Oh, very nice. And we need 4 AP screws. 4 more AP screws. Now, I'll show you something in a minute, but I remember looking at the prototype of one of these a long time ago when they did, like, you know, they do like the prototype issue before they go live with it, just to see what the interest would be. And I'll show you something in a bit. There's a marked difference from between the prototype and this one. So again, we're going to tighten the screws a little bit to start with. Get off. At least the magnet on this screwdriver is quite strong. I'm going to tighten. I'm going to go opposite corners, so that one, then this one, because I can. That one in there, gently, not tightly. This one there. It's going to be a long episode, this, isn't it? I probably have edited a lot of crap out of this episode. Oh yeah. That goes there. Hope you can see all this. All we need to do now is coordinate my shaky hands. I get hand jam all around the other side, just to get these tightened up uniformly. Again, we don't need to go super tight. They're only plastic components. They're not structural or load bearing or anything like that. There's a very loud helicopter going overhead. If you can hear it, I apologise. I do have the window open because it's quite pleasant outside today. There we go, so that's that assembled. Now on this, you can see here, they've rather nicely hidden that little gap, that little panel line here, with that curve. On the original test one, there was a massive dirty grey gap there because it was the top and bottom half. So that sometimes happens when you have these part works, when they do a little prototype. They just prototype it and put out test parts. And yeah, they've thankfully got rid of that big gap down the middle. Now you can see all my finger schmutz on there. Do we need to do anything else with that? Yes, we do, before we clean it off. We have, as shown in the picture, push the right throttle lever 1C onto the shaft of the butterfly spindle. Okay, so this is where I need my tweezers. Let me get my tweezers. Okay, tweezers acquired. Yes. Now we've got 3 parts here. We have 1C and 1F and 1K. 1K is the throttle lever, and it looks like that. It's the big long one. We have 1C, which is the throttle. Hang on. That's the throttle lever linkage. I need to know. I do actually appreciate the fact they give you all the names of things in the actual magazine, because I don't know any of these things. That's the throttle lever linkage, the long one. 1C is this sort of dog leg shaped one, you can see there, like that. 1C. And 1F is this one, which is it's another throttle lever, but it's a straight one. So what we need to do first of all is take this, and we need to put 1C onto the spindle. Now, one thing I will note, by the way, I had to very quickly off camera just take this back apart again and put it together, and these the butterflies were like, they were sticking out up here and they wouldn't turn. So when you put these two halves together, make sure that your butterflies are actually nice and level. They're not sticking out where they shouldn't be. I just had to quickly take it apart and reset it, but they can spin around, so make sure they're nice and straight when you put them in. So this needs to be like this direction. It needs to be that way round. That. It reminds me of Qbert, I don't know why. This needs to sit on here. Now there is a slight texture to this spindle, so I'm going to hold it with that end and push this on. I don't like forcing things. I'm always nervous when you have to push forcefully on something. Also, I'm always nervous when I can't actually physically hold things. It needs to go on there. Right, let's see if I can... Difficult because I'm trying to do it on camera as well, which doesn't help. I don't know how far it's supposed to go on, you see. I assume it's supposed to seat all the way. I can see the plastic in there bending, is it? Just... They've spun round all the way now, that's not good. Oh, get back in, lads. Carefully with the tweezers, because I don't want to break anything. Right. And that again. I don't want to bend anything unnecessarily, but it's a very tight fit. There we go. Right, that's on. That was a little bit stressful. It's a little bit stressful because I didn't want to bend this or snap this. But there you go, that's on now. I'm just going to tweeze it a little bit so it's straight. That now turns that beautifully. So yes, when you're first assembling this, if these are sticking out like with the arrows facing this way or sticking out the wrong way, just loosen it back apart again and put it back together again with them straight. But there you go, that's them on. I think they're all in place. Okay, except one of them has come off a little bit, but not to worry, because what I can do very quickly is push one of them off the spindle. But that's not a big problem. This does happen. This is my fault, because I pushed them off while I was manhandling it, because, as I said, maximum ineptness. So I'll just quickly take this apart. I'll pop that one back on the spindle. And then once these are in, there's no reason to ever do this again. We'll just quickly... Oops. Get this apart. Now you see, I could have edited this out, but I prefer to show you when I make little goofs, just so you know how to deal with them. I might not edit this bit out, actually, I might just leave it. I mean, you know, I might just show you me fixing it. So let's take this bit off again. That just pops off. This one is just coming off the spindle a little bit, so I'll just slide it back on. There we go. Just come loose a tiny amount. Should be nice and straight now, I think. Yep. Just straighten them up, that's all. Sometimes you just need to fiddle with the little things to get them to sit in place the right way or settle correctly. And you won't know until you loosely put them together. That's why you never want to like really hardcore permanently assemble things with all the screws in fully tight until you've had a chance to make sure everything now works. There we go. So that looks fun. Look at that. Oh, it looks gorgeous. I need to clean them butterflies off a bit, but oh, look at that. Yeah, so that's that bit. We've got that handle on there. This handle we need to put on this side now. Same principle. It needs to have the little doddy bit sticking up that way. Does this go towards the back? Yes. So this sits that way. Oops, no. 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 Fiddly time. That way. So, get this on here. Try not to make sure it doesn't rotate. because we want these to be lined up. And again, it's stressy pushing time. And I'm just nervous of snapping anything. I always hate pushing things onto thin things. There we go. Gently. Make sure those are lined up straight. They are. And then we need to, followed by the throttle lever linkage. And it shows it this way round. I think. Yes. It doesn't specify it has to go a particular orientation for this linkage, but we'll just get it on there anyway. Very carefully pushing it on. I don't like doing this at all. Making me nervous. You never know how far these things are supposed to seat down onto the thing you're pushing them onto. I assume all the way, but I'm conscious of bending this. Thing. That way again. Let's try it. I don't want to use any glue. Doesn't seem to need that. That would be a bit silly, especially on a moving part. Well, in you go. There we go. It just clicks into place. That was stressful. Right, so that will probably need to be adjusted later on. Just be careful. The middle linkage bar is quite delicate. Bendy, I mean, by delicate. And just go easy with it. Don't be manhandling it too much. Just take your time and be careful. So there, that's on. That looks fantastic. What's next? Okay, so we need to put that over there. It's covered in hand jam now. Hand jam all the way. Attach the EFI fuel distributor. Right, so we've got all the parts ready. Let's just get this done. This episode's taken far too long already. So we have this here. Attach the EFI fuel distributor, which is this little puppy here. This needs to go on there like that. So we shall get ourselves an AP screw. One single AP screw will be good. Again, no oil because you're going straight into plastic. I'm going to do this now. Like the shakes today. Go in there and we can just gently attach that. Making sure it goes through the hole will be a good start. There we are, that's better. No, it's not. Yes, it is. There we are. Right, that's in. That's seated. Very gently screwing this in. I don't want to crack or strain any of the plastic. So there we go. That's finger tight. Sitting on the back quite nicely. Okay, so next, join the pulley spindle to the blower front. I love these names. The pulley spindle, which is this, to the blower. Oh no, that's the pulley spindle. I don't know. I don't know cars. That goes like that. This goes like that. There we go, so they go on there. Look at that. BDS. Do it on camera there. It looks nice and shiny. 2 AP screws. Let's get a whole bunch of AP screws out. We'll just get a whole mess of them out, which makes it easier. 2 AP screws. Goes in there. Hope you can see all this. Goes in there, it says. Not going in there. Not lined it up, you spud. Yeah. Once again, with feeling. Oops. Okay, that one's in. We'll just get the other one in on the other side. Yes, I don't know why you watch my partwork content. I'm so inept at anything. The good thing is, though, it does mean that a partwork for me takes 10 times as long as everybody else. So I do get my mileage out of partworks, because even the simplest of procedures is a long, drawn-out process for me. Plus, let's not forget, I am filming it at the same time, so a little more complicated. Okay, so that's those two on. Just make sure the screws are balanced out. Line the blower cover bracket with the lugs on the front cover. Secure them with 2 AP screws. More AP screws, there's one. I'm quite impressed with this screwdriver. If you do want to pick up this exact screwdriver set, it is on my Amazon store, where there is a link in the description below. It's available in the UK Amazon store. I couldn't find this exact screw set on the US or Canadian stores, so I've just got reasonable facsimiles of it in those 2 stores, like, you know, the next best thing. But it's a dirt cheap 20 quid screwdriver set, and it's really good. I'm really quite enjoying using it. Plus it comes with a load of other widgets and bits that you can use for other places. But I do recommend it. I did put a little video up on the channel, I think. Can't remember if I did now. I might have done it as a Patreon exclusive, I can't remember. That's those 2 on. Tightening these up slowly. There we go. Insert the 2 lugs of the blower case in front bracket 10 into the slots in the end of the blower case. I love these names. In the end of the blower case. Where's the camera? So that goes like holes, slots. Which way up is that? That way. That way up. Goes through the holes. He says, oh, that's very nice. There's 2 pegs in there, 2 tubes. This goes through these holes. You can see there's a little recess. Do you want camera? You can see there's a little recess. Don't know where the camera is for the screw heads. So we want 2 more AP screws. 2 AP Screws gefahren. These now go into those pins through the little sticky out tabs on the blower case front bracket. Yes, I'm very grateful that they give you the names for all these things in the magazine, otherwise I'd be knackered. I wouldn't know what the hell I was making. Now we put a screw into the widget device with the box with the holy shiny howly thingy. I don't know. That's in there. And what's next? Nearly done. Okay, so now we need to attach the blower drive pulley. Don't forget, of course, if you would like to support this channel, and please, in the name of dog, please do consider supporting this channel. I don't think this has to go a specific way. Please do consider becoming either a patron or a channel member. You can become a patron at patreon.com/modelmakingguru, or you can become a channel member by simply pressing the join button underneath any one of my videos or live streams. Either way, you're helping to support this channel, you're keeping it alive, you literally are putting food on my table. I do this for my everyday living, and without the support of my patrons and channel members, I wouldn't be able to do any of this. I'd have to stop. The channel would just die a death. So, yeah, do consider becoming a patron or channel member. You get exclusive content, early access to a lot of content, and it's just jolly good fun. Now it says, to complete the assembly, press the 3 lugs on the EFI adapter plate. Those 3 there. Into the holes on the blower case. We have 1, 2, 3. So it's not gonna screw on. It's just, this is gonna be a pushy job, isn't it? That snips into place and makes me panic. I'm going to be nervous now. Don't want to snap anything. Yeah. These are all metal parts. I feel a lot better. Right, there's a little bit of schmuds on the end there. Let me just quickly get that schmund off the end. They're like a little tiny speb of plastic. Just getting in the way. Put that there. There we go. Perfect. There we go. Can't get it off. Yeah, there's a little tiny little blip of plastic on that. Oh, no, I can't get it back in again. Come on, you can do it. There you go. You have to line it up perfectly vertically and then also with the holes. No, hang on. I can do it. I can do this. I can do this. Get in the hole. it seems that you have to get it exactly 90 degrees. Get them all to go in. Very little tolerance. Wow, this is a little tacky. I can't actually, it doesn't help that I can't actually see where I'm putting, where the holes are. Come on now, you can do this. Better never come off ever again. Oh! And one of them snapped. Oh. Right, let's try doing that carefully then. Oh! Breakage. Can always be gluing if needed. There we go. Right, we're in. Whew. Now I did snap one of those off, but I think we'll live. That's not going to come off. Just be careful with that. Yeah, you seem to need to line them up 90 degrees, like literally like that. You can't have any of them at a slight angle. You can't go in like that. Oh, that made me nervous, that did. That, I assume, is going to have other things on it later that will help keep that in place. So it's not going to come off. It's secure, so it's fine. Shame I snapped one of the pegs off, but we'll live. Right. What's next? I think that is everything. So let me give that a quick little clean with the glove of cleaning to make it look nice. I'll get my gloves on. There we go. Get my gloves on. I knew I'd break something. There's always something I'm going to break. It's always the way. Get this hand schmutz off. I say I will give all these a full polish and clean and everything when we finish the build. Or before we get all the engine parts in place. They'll be properly cleaned and all the finger crap removed. I can't quite do that now, unfortunately. Beautiful. And that's on there. And we've of course got the hood, as our colonial cousins call it. And we'll let them have that one because it does sound better. But that is where we're up to with issue 1. So that was officially the longest episode ever for very little work. Minimal breakage, slight breakage, but like I say, that's not a problem. It's not going to come off. Not going to come off ever, that, so we'll be fine. I'm sure there's other stuff that will go on top of it. So that is that bit done, and there we go. That is issue 1 of the Dodge Charger. So I'm going to say thank you very much for watching. I shall end this episode now before we all die of old age. Well, that feels lovely. Stay tuned for part 2, which will of course be episode 2. Or even issue 2, get my words right, which should be a bit quicker because all we've got to do there is build a wheel and a steering wheel. How long can that possibly take? He said. Yeah. Anyway, that's going to do it. So thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Don't forget, of course, to pop along to fanhome.com and check out this for yourself. Consider getting this for yourself. Again, massive thank you to the guys at Fanhome for supplying this for me. I shall see you in the next episode for part 2 or issue 2. I'm going to say part and issue and get them all mixed up now, aren't I? An episode. I'm going to be messing that up all the way along. No. Anyway, take care of yourselves. Go make something awesome. Go be awesome. And until next time, adios, amoeba. I feel like a snooker referee.